Indio roster. At least I thought I did anyway. Let's. We'll stay here with it. Brawley's first gets a turnover in the first set of downs, and they now are in business at the Indio 35-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10. So a turnover to open the game, and Brawley has the ball at the Indio 35-yard line. Be 1st and 10. Your quarterback, of course, is Ethan Gutierrez. Kind of a poll right in front of us. It says we have 13 minutes and something wrong with the game clock. Well, they're waiting for that to get straightened out. Okay, talking about Brawley coming into this football game, and again, Ethan Gutierrez, the senior quarterback, had a great game against Mater Dei and quite frankly got dinged up and did not care to test his leg out, right leg, up at Valley Center, which has a horrible carpet. That's a synthetic field. And so Ethan only had 6 carries for about 60 yards. We'll see what he's like tonight, because against Mater Dei, he ran for over 100 on about 13 carries. So coming out in the double wing, one wing back in motion, give's going to be to Isaiah Young. Young just pulleys his way through the Indio defense, and on the first play from scrimmage, Isaiah Young breaks at the point of contact. Holy Toledo, touchdown, Brawley High Wildcats. Appeared to be kind of caught up, but the son of offensive coordinator and former Brawley High Wildcat running back extraordinaire, Brandon Young, and just broke away. And so Wildcats get up on top early, something they were hoping to do. The Wildcats, as we'll go through, have a couple of freshmen rotating on defense tonight, and we'll try to point them out to you as we go through it. Meanwhile, here is Jorge Jarro to try the extra point. And the kick is up, and Jarro hits it. Did not hit it last week, but Jorge is good, and it is now 7-0. Brawley Wildcats, just that first play of scrimmage, and that's okay. So the Wildcats are now up by a score of 7-0. For the Brawley High Wildcats, the rest of September will be at home. 3 games on the road. Mater Dei, which we lost 53-21. Brawley lost to Valley Center last week in a heartbreaking game that many felt we could have won, should have won, but there's no such thing as moral victories, according to Coach John Self, and he's absolutely right, because our record is 0-2, and that loss was 17-6. Next Friday night, the Wildcats will be hosting the Cibola Raiders out of Yuma, Arizona. The following Friday night, the 17th, they will be hosting the Gila Ridge Hawks out of Yuma, Arizona. And then it will be the Fallbrook, I believe the Braves, out of Fallbrook, California. It could be the first ever meeting between the two schools, and that will also be in Brawley. And then Imperial Valley League play will start with Southwest, Imperial and Calexico at home. The Calexico game has been switched to the 14th of October from the 15th. It will be another Thursday night game. So the Wildcats again with 2 Thursday night games, and then they will have a little bit, pretty much 15 days to get ready before they meet the Central Spartans in the Bell game. Not exactly what Brawley wanted to do. They could use a rest, quite frankly, right about now, but that's how the scheduling worked in a pandemic year. Set to kick off is Jarro for the second time, and this one he gets a little bit of air under. The ball is down, taken around the 10-yard line, and here come the Rajas. And the Rajas catch the Wildcats out of their lane, and they're going to get a good return out there as Brawley just, that was just not good special teams play. Wildcats left the entire left side of the running backs field open, and when they couldn't get to him, he is going to give Indio a 1st and 10 on their own 49-yard line. So kickoff coverage bad, and we'll see what the Wildcats can do now. Indio now with a 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. Trailing 7-0. Game just getting underway. And again, I did not get the roster. I will get that up best I can. And 1st and 10 Indio. They have got a wide receiver and a slot to both the right and left, so come out in doubles. And this time they rush the ball, and they get a nice little chunk of yardage there. And they are going to pick up about 7 yards, and that's going to leave. And, okay, here we go. So that'll bring up 2nd and a long 4, call it 5 if you would like. And the Indio Raja is now trying to answer the Wildcats, who scored on the very first offensive play of the game. And they're going to give it again. So they came out, tried to pass, it didn't work, gave up a fumble on, I believe, a snap. And now they get a 2nd carry, and it's going to be 3rd and short. So Indio, who has lost 2 games in a row by scores of 35-0, feel like maybe this is their game. They are at home, and I'll tell you what, they look prepared to give the Wildcats everything they could possibly want. Okay, somehow or other on a 3rd and 1, the play not particularly clear. So again, with a new coach, we're going to see what happens. Quarterback is number 4, Fabian Garcia. He is a junior, 5'11", and 150 pounds. The feature running back, it appears, is going to be number 22. That's Dominique Moran. He's a junior, 5'8", and 155 pounds. So Indio comes to Brawley next year. It's going to be a lot of juniors because the Wildcats are stacked with juniors, one of whom was lost to COVID protocol. Not to COVID, COVID protocol. Tanner Carranza, who is Brawley's punter, backup fullback, and starting inside linebacker, was in a classroom at Brawley High. Somebody tested positive for COVID. Tanner immediately tested. He's come up negative, but as per protocol, and I don't know if it's CIF, I don't know if it's Brawley High School, it doesn't matter. He is not here tonight. So the COVID thing is not going away, and it is affecting ball games. 2 freshmen were brought up, and the Wildcats jump offside. So a nice job of Indio. They're coming out here. They're not looking like a team that hasn't scored. They are just marched to their first down. Replacing Tanner Carranza is going to be 2 freshmen, and I mean true freshmen. So I told you we're kind of getting in the habit of doing this. And for the Wildcats, the freshmen are going to be number 25, Matthew Moreno, and number 35, Matthew Gutierrez. And I believe those are the numbers. One of them should be out on the field as we speak. 1st and 10 Indio Rajas. They are trailing 7-0. And this time we have a motion penalty, so it will be 1st and 15. So let me see who's out on the field for the Wildcats. 23. Okay, number 35, I believe, is Matthew Gutierrez. Too many windows open here. Okay, back to pass is the quarterback, and he's got a big wide open space, and he's going to go out of bounds, and he's going to get a 1st down. So Brawley dropped everybody And again, could be a little bit of a miscommunication there. Not quite sure. Let me see if I can make sure I have the right person. Okay, here we go. All right. Number 35 is, again, Matthew Gutierrez. He is in at a defensive back. But Indio now with their second consecutive first down, trailing 7-0 with 9:52 to go, trying to get back into this football game. Ran out of bounds, so the clock's not moving much. And again, a little bit of a delay. Number 22 is going to run it up the middle, and he's going to initially be hit out there by number 35, and he's a freshman, but a good-sized freshman, and that is Matthew Gutierrez. And they are on board to replace Damian Abarca, who is not going to be available for a couple of weeks. And the Wildcats needed to bring some people up, and especially with Tanner Carranza out, had to do some shifting around. I'm trying to see if 25 is out there along with. Coach said he would probably alternate them, but 35, good-looking freshman kid. And also, a pitch, and the Wildcats, the ball is loose, and the Wildcats have it. I'm pretty sure they're going to give that one to the Wildcats. They slid in there and wrapped it up on a bad pitch, making the recovery number 54 for the Brawley Wildcats. And he just was on it and in it to win it and held on to it. 54 for the Brawley High Wildcats is Brody Enders. Enders missed last game and is back, and it is a big addition to the Wildcat defense. Had a great game against Mater Dei. So Brawley's now going to have it on their own, looks like 36-yard line on a bad pitch. And let's see what the Wildcats can do. Gutierrez is your quarterback. Lone back is Young. Trips on one side. And here goes Young again down the line trying to find a hole. He weaves his way through, breaks out a little bit, and is finally going to be knocked out of bounds, but not after a gain of about, 15, about 30 yards. So give Isaiah 30 yards on that one. Okay, on his second carry. So on 2 carries, Isaiah Young already has 53 yards unofficially for the Brawley Wildcats. Tom Ronco on the Desert Review with you. 8:40 to go here at Ed White Field in Indio. Used to be called the Date Bowl, but again, as Ernie Ramos and I were talking about, entirely new looking campus up here. So really a nice high school. And Gutierrez fakes, throws a quick look-in pass, has a man open, and he makes the catch, and down he goes. And making the catch is number 17, Robert Platt, for the Brawley High Wildcats, and it's going to be a first down for Brawley. Okay, I'd like to remind you, Wildcat football brought to you by Hart Insurance Centers in Brawley and Imperial. Back to pass is Ethan Gutierrez. He hits number 5, who fumbles the football, and it's going to be a turnover. That is Malik Washington, and just had the ball stripped, just started running with it and dropped it. So a nice pass for the Wildcats. And a little fumble. And now Indio is going to have the ball at their own 18-yard line. Looks like the 18, yep.
First and 10, Rajas.
And the Rajas get it back. So a game that's probably been playing pretty clean football, so to speak, in terms of turnovers and whatnot. But not so far tonight, as the Wildcats are having a little bit of trouble kind of holding on to the ball, but so is Indio, so it could be a lot of factors. And now we have another timeout, and that's going to be by Indio. And again, a team that's trying to kind of get themselves together. Okay, we will step back for a second and be back after this. This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Brawley Football is sponsored by Hart Insurance Company, the Dom Team for Real Estate, Johnny's Burritos in El Centro, Brawley and Imperial, Ojeda Industries, and the Man Company. Okay, still a timeout on the field. Brawley leading 7-0. Had an excellent opportunity to add to that lead, but after Indio fumbled on a pitch, the Wildcats came back and fumbled on just pretty much a catch and then a drop. And Washington, one of the young men who did not have a JV season last year or a varsity season much to speak of, unable to get on the field with so many seniors in the pandemic 2020 season that was played this past spring from March to April. And so, again, we're going to see some mistakes that you would not normally see out of a junior because, in effect, they are not juniors in terms of the traditional sense. And we talked already about losing Tanner Carranza, another junior, and Brawley with a heavily junior-laden team. So they will have at least the normal senior season. Back to pass, a little flick pass, and again, that is not a catch. Good defense by the Brawley High Wildcats. Nice pass out there. Okay, nice pass. Quarterback trying to make his way through things. Fabian Garcia, again, 5'11", number 4 for the Indio Rajas. And again, has, you hate to let the lid come off. You have the genie in the bottle, so to speak. But at some point, that genie's going to pop out of there, and then we will see what the Rajas can do. Okay, Rajas in their traditional royal blue with red helmets and white numerals. Red, white, and not necessarily the flag blue. Now they're coming up with trips on the left, single receiver on the right, and they're going to run kind of a draw. And do we have another? Now this time the runner is going to be taken down out there, bottom of the pile for the Brawley High Wildcats, number 8 for Brawley. And I believe number 8 would be. I have a copy of my roster. I just keep kind of losing it. Let's see. Okay. Number 8 for the Brawley High Wildcats. That's Chris Hutchings. And the reason I hesitated was because he also was not in playing last week at Valley Center. So we lost 2 key players, Brody Enders and Hutchins. And Chris Hutchings. And now it's going to be third down for the Indio Rajas. And the ball is out around the 27-yard line. And nope. Now we're going to have a flag. It's going to be a delay of game. So Indio again. New coach, new system. All of this very understandable. Thursday night, so a short week. So, I mean, it's kind of the perfect storm or unperfect storm, as you were, for a team that's looking to kind of improve themselves. Brawley leading 7-0 with 6:36 to go here in the first quarter. Next Friday night, we'll be home. That's another interesting story. We will talk about that probably at halftime with Billy Brewer. And kind of a fake, a little option by Fabian, not Fabian, let's see. Okay. Fabian Garcia. And Garcia gets a nice shoulder smack out there by number 21 for the Brawley High Wildcats. And I believe that's... Okay, that's Charlie Lai. All right, here we go. Charlie's still in there on the punt team. Charlie, another junior, tries to get inside, and the punter gets flushed out of the pocket, and he is going to loop the ball, and the referee is going to be very, very generous and spotted at the 45-yard line for Brawley. So following a punt, Brawley will take over at their own 45-yard line, leading 7-0. Oh no, excuse me, the Indio. That didn't look right. Let's put it at the Indio 45-yard line and see what the Wildcats can do. Scored on just a burst by Isaiah Young. Going to come out with trips to the right, one wide receiver to the left, single back, and no tight end, no anything. Slow snap to Gutierrez, who winds up and throws, has a man wide open, and he's going to take it all the way down to what looks like the 10-yard line. Okay, so it's a strike from 13 to number 4 for the Brawley High Wildcats. And okay, and that's Brandon Porras, Porras. And there is a timeout on the field. I believe it might be Indio again. And Brian is a new receiver. I believe he is in the slot formerly inhabited by Damian Abarca. So, again, that's why I had to double check these people. Do not want to give you the wrong Wildcat. We'll be back in a second. This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Wildcat football is sponsored by OK Rubber Tire Company, Jordan Central Implements, Desert RV, Brant Beef, Carter Taylor and Lidco, Clayton Drain Tile, and Fry Chapel and Mortuary. And now back to exciting Brawley High Wildcat football. Okay, and it is exciting, and the Wildcats push down and are going to get close to the end zone. And that is Isaiah Young on the carry as he gets out of a pile of people. And he is all the way down to the 2-yard line, and now we have a cramp or something from one of the Indio linemen. It is warm up here. It's warm probably where you're, if you're watching this live, where you're watching from too. So I shouldn't be facetious. About 100 degrees at kickoff. It is now 93 degrees. And again, a lot of activity in a kind of slow-moving first half. A lot of incomplete passes, a lot of turnovers, a lot of change of possessions. We still have 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go. And Brawley now with a second. And actually, the pass was to the 11, so they can get a first down at the half-yard line without getting a touchdown. And again, we have a young man down, which has been kind of common here in the early going of the season. Fortunately for Brawley, the first game was not because of the heat. Brawley had very few cramps because it was nice and cool at Mater Dei in Chula Vista up on the Otay Mesa. Last week at Valley Center is pretty toasty, and that carpet that they have absorbs the heat. So even though the sun went down and the rest of us were kind of pleasant in, with a little breeze, I'm sure it was cooking down on the field, and it took a toll on the Wildcat football team. Okay, we'll be back in a moment. This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Wildcat football is sponsored by Clickup Parker Insurance Company, A&R Construction, Brawley Auto Center, Smith Kendall Insurance and Real Estate, One World Beef Packers, and the Town Pump and Brownies Restaurant. And now, more exciting Brawley High Wildcat football. Okay, welcome back to Ed White Field on the campus of Indio High School. It used to be known as the Date Bowl when many of you played here. And same old field, still full of sand everywhere you look. Kind of looks like tee boxes, where they go along, or divots on a golf course where they pour sand in it. All these little holes as you are looking out over the field. Thanks to our cameraman, Lloyd Miller. I'm sure you're getting a good shot of this. And basically what you're seeing is the same field you guys played on. Nothing has changed. Okay, second and goal for the Wildcats. They're trying to capitalize on a rather not a very good punt. And they have a second and goal. And it's going to be Gutierrez wandering in. Faked the ball, pulled it back from Isaiah Young on the option, and Gutierrez will run it in from 2 yards out. And the Wildcats are now up by a score of 13-0. And a nice run by Ethan, nice option read there, and he will be the first to tell you. We pound the rock with Isaiah, and then when the defense is just kind of focused and fixate on him, Ethan can read that, keeps the ball, and away we go. Jorge Haro will try his second extra point of the night, and that comes with 4:35 to go in the first quarter. And I told you, a very slow-moving first quarter. And Haro's kick is up. And it is good. So Haro with the kick missed the extra point last week. Tried a field goal, kicked it wide to the left. And the problem with kickers are that's not a problem. A characteristic of a kicker is that they get kind of mental. And you've seen this in pro games. You've seen this in college. If they get it in their head that they're not kicking right, they're not going to kick right. And so Jorge, great young man, had plenty of leg, but missed it to the left. And again, we were out there trying to give him practice. This is why you play preseason games. And then he went out and just like stubbed his toe on the carpet. And it was just the worst kick I've ever seen him kick on the point after attempt. So I'm sure that, his head is right now, and we will get nothing but pretty much good kicks. I mean, he is a high school, actually soccer player, and a very, very good one. And he comes out, and he's learning the game, and he's learning it fast. But, again, not raised doing it as some of these young men have been. And the Wildcats now leading 14-0 will kick off. And this is a Pooch Kick, and that's a free ball. And I think the Wildcats recovered it. It is a free ball on a Pooch Kick, and the Wildcats recover it. So, okay, so Brawley recovers. Trying to see that very hard to see because of they don't have the little markers on the side of the field like Brawley does every 10 yards. Well, maybe they do, but they can't hardly see them. So the Wildcats are now at the Indio 35. And that's just, again, a mistake on special teams by Indio. And again, you can't coach the kids up on everything. Back to pass on first down is Gutierrez. He throws, but the ball skips. Intended out there for number 4, Porras. And the ball skips, and then a late flag comes in from the white hat in the backfield, which is going to indicate either some kind of, it's either a hold or a personal foul. Personal foul, yeah. Somebody from Indio knocked into Ethan, pushed Ethan. I didn't see it. I'm following the football, but that's what the white hat is there for. And they are going to take it from the point of infraction. And there's going to be a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty. And now the Wildcats are going to pick up 15 yards on that. And here come the Wildcats now with a 1st and 10 on about the 21-yard line. Still in the first quarter, Brawley up by a score of 14-0. The clock stops with the penalty. And here come the Wildcats. Gutierrez is out of the shotgun. Lone back is Young. And he's got a Washington to the right and 2 receivers to the left. And he throws out here to Porras. And we're going to get a... Robert Platt gave himself up. He's going to get a penalty for an illegal block. What he did was he kind of got tangled up with the guy, and down went the Indio defender, and he threw his arms up like I didn't do anything, which was a big red flag to the officials because no flag had come out until Robert threw his hands up, and that told the officials, oh, when you try not to act like you did a foul, and you all seen this in the NBA or the NFL or whatever, you're going to get called. So Robert gave himself up, just a sophomore. Nicest young man you want to meet. And nice catch out there by Porras, but it all comes back for non. And again, I'm sure the coaches are going to show that at the films a number of times. But again, Platt not able to get on the field. He is a sophomore, but he is basically a freshman playing varsity, and it's his first high school football. And now we're going to throw a little swing pass out. Nice read, nice catch. So they hit Porras coming out, but Indio on 1st and 15 is all over that one. And down goes Porras. Nice throw, nice catch, but just went to the well one too many times, and the Rajas are there. So it brings up second, and it would be still a gain of 4 for the Wildcats. So it's 4 down territory. So Brawley has 3 downs to basically get 11 yards. And that's kind of what it's going to be. Okay, Gutierrez now sets Porras up in the slot. Remember, he is in first game. And here we go. They're going to throw a fade and up in the air and can't make the catch. A nice defensive play out there. Pass from Gutierrez intended for number 6 for the Brawley High Wildcats. And we will find number 6. Daniel Camilo Jr. Okay. Daniel Camilo Jr. And my apologies, I've got a new roster because there's been a lot of changes, and they are alphabetical, not numerical. So I will remember, and I should have known from last game. Camilo with a couple of nice catches. All right, now Porras again takes off a little bit early. So the Wildcats may have needed this game just to shake out a few things because not firing on all 8 cylinders right now, maybe 4 of the 8. I guess we can call it the flex engine. And again, still in the first quarter with all of these missed passes and everything. 3:05 to go. Wow. Okay, and Gutierrez back to pass. And now he's going to hoist one up, has a wide open receiver, and it's a touchdown for the Brawley High Wildcats. So when Gutierrez started scrambling, number 5 Malik Washington stayed back in the end zone, and Gutierrez was able to hoist him a ball. However, something's going on, or it was incomplete. We will see from the referee. Holding on the Wildcats. So in all of that scrambling, somebody held on a little bit too tight, so that negates the touchdown. So a couple of nice passes by Ethan Gutierrez have been negated by penalties here on this drive. The good news is the Wildcats have been holding on to the football, but now faced with a 3rd and down to the 28. Yeah. And it's the spot of the foul. So the holding occurred way back as Ethan took a long drop. So here we go again. Let's see what Brawley can come up with on 3rd and 28. Ethan's looking it over, says something to Isaiah, puts in his mouthpiece, back to pass, escapes the rush, and now he's going to take off, and he's going to cut back across the field, and Ethan is still on his feet. He is heading for the first down, and he will actually get down close to the goal line. So that play started on the 42-yard line. And Ethan ran 42 yards. Holy Toledo. And he just kind of cut back against the grain, and Indio over pursued, sent everybody, knowing he was in a passing situation. And Ethan took a full advantage of that, to say the least. And from 2 yards out, it is Isaiah Young with a touchdown. That comes with 2:11 left to go in the first quarter. And Brawley has extended its lead to 20-0, and Hotero will try to make it 21. So after a drive that kind of saw the Wildcats get close, come back, get close, come back, and now they are short a man on the, I think they may have to call a timeout here. I don't know. They don't want to kick an extra 5-yard. Here goes, quick snap, kick is up, and it is good. So look at the scoreboard as Hotero converts. It is 21-0 in favor of the Brawley High Wildcats. Okie dokes. Well, with Brawley leading 21-0, we will be back.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Brad, I can help with coverages. Man-to-man coverage, zone coverage, combo coverage.
I don't know, Peyton. I was thinking the types of coverages that your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, like home, auto, business, life, farm, boat, your tour bus.
Products availability varies by state, agent, and other factors. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company, Columbus, Ohio.
For all your many sides, there's Nationwide. Call Hart Insurance Center, 898 Main Street, Brawley, or in the Prince Plaza, 1503 North Imperial Avenue, El Centro. Since 1945, we have a heart for personal service.
Okay, so for the second time in a row, or second consecutive kickoff, the Brawley High Wildcats pooch it in the same direction. Indio this time tries to field the ball, but instead kicks it, and the Wildcats recover. So again, another pooch. And now Brawley recovers it at the Indio. This time looks to be about the 30. So last time the 35, but it took Brawley a lot of chances to try to get it in the end zone. Leading 21-0, Gutierrez brings the offense back out, which in Brawley's case is not a big rest to the defense because most of them play both. And now they're going to call, illegal motion. Somebody moved. Okay, Ethan had him in there. They're saying that Isaiah Young moved over to hear Ethan, and that's just a kind of a simple thing. I don't know why we need that. So the Wildcats are going to huddle up now because it's going to be 1st and 15. And just a lot of, again, little things not going right for the Wildcats. Lots of little things. Okay, that'll bring up 1st and 15, and the clock again stopped at 2:08. And a quick pass this time, and in and out of the hands of Portis. Again, the Wildcats without the services for a while of Damian Abarca, who has been doing a lot of stuff for them, has enlisted instead Portis, and there are two. Let me see what. Okay. Okay. Brandon. There is a Brian who is a center and a Brandon who is now a back. So Brawley on 2nd down now is going to creep Young up into what they call the H-back. He's going to stay in a block. And Gutierrez is going to sidearm it. Has a wide open Camilo, and he drops the football. Okay, nice pass. And again, sometimes there's always that oxymorism that you can be too open. That a receiver can be too open. So Camilo doesn't drop many of them, or hasn't so far. And he comes back in, and the Wildcats leading 21-0. Probably not fretting over that, but again, it's a good lesson to be learned. Will catch the football. Nobody near him. He probably could have walked it in, but, you know, lesson learned, I am sure. Daniel's father, Daniel Camilo, played for the Wildcats, played for Coach John Self when he was an assistant, and John Bishop was the head coach. So, brother Chris is also on the team, and he starts on defense. Here goes a nice little inside pass to Platt, who just puts his shoulder down. And I told you I like that sophomore. I told you. And he just kind of put his shoulder down and just went for it. So a nice pass from 13 to 17. And the catch and run does not get the first down. I thought he did. Again, not a greatest angle in the world here. In terms of the stadium, they built it to last. It is solid concrete. If you look around at the background, or those who either remember here or parents who just remember sitting here watching the game. Gutierrez now on 4th down and 4. Looks it over, calls something, puts his mouthpiece in. We should be ready to go. Takes the snap and throws, and will have the first down. He's going to go down, but he held it till the last second. And he's a little gingerly getting up. He took a nice shot out there from number 3. That's Indio. Maybe the roster I have is not as accurate as I would like it to be. By number 5. Okay. No, he doesn't look like him either. Okay. I got to get a better roster. I will do that as soon when we take a break for the quarter. Brawley gets a fresh set of downs, however, as passing the ball all over the place is Gutierrez. Now he puts Young as a wingback, so he has an empty backfield, and he's got everybody to pick from. He waits, throws over the middle. Nice over-the-shoulder catch, and Platt will have himself a touchdown. So a 19-yard touchdown pass. 19 yards. Okay, 13 to 17. Okay, 19 yards for the Brawley Wildcats. And a touchdown. And we will see Jorge Haro with 47 seconds to go. Okay, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. So as I told you, it's all in Haro's head. Okay, any kicker, anybody that's ever played football will tell you the most sensitive people in the world are kickers. And got somebody joining me, kind of help get us through the second quarter. And I'd like to welcome former Brawley Wildcat wide receiver Donnell Washington, class of 98.
99.
Oh, you were 99. Okay, you're. I won't. We're not going to talk about your age because now that my daughter just became a year older than you, and she's not going to like that. Okay, although she actually graduated a year younger, so she probably, if she would have went to school, but as her mother and I said, she was ready at 4, and we said, take her, please, and they did, and worked out pretty well for her. So Donnell, welcome to the booth.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Okay, we'll talk in between plays. We're going to have another kickoff. And, okay, this time Haro kicks it to where they're going to catch it. And, again, going the opposite way. This time Brawley does not a really good job of staying in the lanes. Do you think, Donnell?
No, containment is not being held on both ends. That started with the very first kickoff. The contain is not holding their ends.
And that means to those of who are watching, and they're leaving their lanes.
Yes, they're leaving their lanes, and the two outside guys, they are like a safety valve, and they need to stay to the outside just in case these guys break it to the outside. You always have somebody just in case to make that tackle.
Okay, Donnell has been working with a lot of the players, because we have a lot of juniors and a lot of freshmen and everything else out here on the field. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. But actually a American youth football, was that what it is?
That's correct.
Okay, and that included Ethan and a whole bunch of other people out there, including number 5.
Actually, I believe everybody on the rosters played through AYF. The juniors were probably that's where Pop Warner kind of ended with the juniors.
Okay.
They went into the AYF, and now everybody else is now going through that.
Okay, we'll talk about what happened there. And number 22 just cannot. And then a little extra push there, and Platt is pointing. Between you and I like Platt.
He definitely has some aggressiveness to him. That's that wrestling background.
Oh, is he a wrestler?
He's a wrestler. He does very well. He's been through the Gladiator program, which is taught by also the high school coaches as well. So he brings that aggressiveness to the football, and it just translates perfect, especially on an outside backer. He's just allowed to be aggressive.
Now, I'm going to throw this out because I don't know. Maybe you don't know. That is Jay Platt's grandson?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. But if you know Jay, and we all knew Jay, and we all love Jay, but you don't want to call somebody his grandson if it's not his grandson.
He would definitely claim him.
Oh, no. Jay would claim him. But if it's not, I don't want people going, hey, wait a minute now. Don't be, because Jay was a mixed bag, but he was a great football player. Just a great young man to have in class. Always was good to say something completely off subject, but it was usually interesting. And I just love Jay on a lot of levels. And, of course, later on became like the guy driving the car that was all Brawley Wildcatted out. If any of you remember that, you
Definitely.
may not have known Jay. But if you lived in Brawley in the, 90s, maybe early 2000s?
Definitely.
You know the car. You know the car. Okay. And he is not part of the group that your son was in. We're talking about his son, number 5. I always pronounce his name wrong. Say it for me. First name.
Makai.
Okay.
Yes.
I call him Malik. I'm sorry. I don't know where I got that from. Too much TV. Somebody on TV is called that. And again, in high school, I would have just given up and called him Mr. Washington.
Well, we can make it easy, and he can go by Donnell, but we like for him to have his own identity, and he's Makai, number 5.
A different number.
Definitely.
You were number 1.
I was number 1.
Number 1 in the scorecard, number 1 in your mom's heart. That's the way.
No, I don't know about that one. She traded me for him real early on.
Oh, we all grandparents do that. that you got to just kind of get over. Okay, here we go. This is the start of the second quarter. Brawley leading 28-0. Tom Ronco with Donnell Washington. And Indio now looking a little more like Indio with kind of a big old back up there to block. And he doesn't do anything. And a nice pass. And they're going to – I don't know what that's about. Is that a targeting and on something? Okay.
That kind of looks simultaneous, so that's a good question on that flag. That was Gabriel Corrales' Tweety, as they like to call him.
No, I got word no Tweety. I got word no Tweety. And I was told in no uncertain terms. Okay, so it's Gilbert. But if you happen to slip and say Tweety, it's okay with me. But the powers to be did not want. Whoa, and they're calling that
personal foul.
A personal foul. You know, it's the kind of thing where they don't want people taking shots. So if that's a one-time, one-off, hey, everybody, yeah, I know you're winning, Brawley, but don't go around taking shots. Let's just play football. I'm good with it, right?
Right.
Because we don't want anybody getting hurt, because we don't want Indio to turn around and start taking shots at us.
And as a coach, even though you might be frustrated about it, you're going to accept that because your kids are playing aggressive. And if the ball is simultaneous, the referees have to do their job, but you have to allow the kids to do theirs as well.
Okay, nice little run out there by number 22. And he's looked pretty good. That's Dominic Moran, 5'8", 155 pounds. And you're out there with the Brawley guys chasing you at 155 pounds. You better be shifty, because you don't want too many of them catching you all at once. So it'll be a first down for Indio. I don't know if Brawley. I noticed that Gutierrez was out there for Barca on defense, one of the freshmen.
Yes, so right now, some of the changes that you have is Matthew Gutierrez, 35, at middle linebacker. He's in there as well. You have David. He's at safety. Let me think of what his last name is.
David.
Number 10.
Oh.
Camacho, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sorry for that. David Camacho at safety.
No problem. You're way ahead of me. Go ahead.
You also have Mackay in at corner right now. You got Charlie running off the field. And you have, I believe that's Brody Van Diver that just went into left outside backer on the far side.
Okay, now a lot of these young men, and it's important for them to get in a game when there's something on the line. Okay, you want them against Indio's first team. We're not worried about giving up points. Your son was one of the ones, and we're talking about number 5, who was robbed of a very, very crucial year, sophomore season. Okay? So when he was a freshman, how much did he grow between, say, his freshman and his sophomore year? I mean, a significant?
Yes, not too much in weight, but you could see the definition and the amount of work that he put in. And there he goes for trying to high point, and he missed the tackle on that.
He missed the ball.
But you could definitely see the definition, because a lot of the times he was able to put in the two-a-days. We were also doing calisthenics and weights, but just that motivation wasn't there. So a lot of the kids, they're used to having each other push each other.
Yes.
And when you're not able to work out with each other, and with Brawley Union High, the gym facilities were closed, so a lot of the times the coaches were only sending pure body workouts.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, it kept the kids in somewhat of a condition, but
no, it's not the same.
Your summers are where you get your biggest growth, and some of these kids didn't have very much, so whether or not other parents had the weights or not, you had to be careful, because you didn't want that to ruin the season.
No.
So it was a very fine line that the kids had to do. So his growth, we maybe put 10 pounds on him. We tried to watch what he ate and, a lot of the workout items, but we're hoping that this summer is going to be a big year for him.
And he also did not play.
Right, until the winter.
Yeah,
yes.
Till that spring season. And even then, it was not the same as having an entire JV season, possibly, and I think in his case, and probably half of the juniors on this team that didn't play in the spring,
right,
they would have been shuffling back and forth or whatnot. But Brawley, with a lot of pressure to play the seniors, every senior, because their whole year had blown up in their face. So it's hard, and I think people who have been around Brawley football understand. But just in general, the difficulty with losing that amount of time in a program like Brawley, I don't think we're going to catch up for another year or two, quite frankly.
Right.
Meanwhile, Indio back to pass is knocking on the door. They try to get outside. But here's what happens to teams, and correct me if I'm wrong. In the middle of the field, we're playing soft and loose. Your son went for the interception, didn't get it. It's okay. Somebody was behind him. It's all good. But now that field is shrunk down to about 10, 12 yards maybe. What's that ball on?
Looks
12?
like we're about on the
16.
yes, I believe the 11 roughly.
Yeah, the 11. So now there's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and you can't spread Brawley out. And Indio is going to call its last timeout. Donnell Washington with Tom Ronco for Wildcat Broadcasting. The Desert Review doing the filming, and we're hoping you're getting this live. If not, hope you're enjoying a rebroadcast of this. But again, that 1 year, and I keep harping on it, and people are going to be finally getting tired of it at some point, I would understand. But there's always a different look to it. To have those young men who came in, had a great freshman year, right?
Right.
Okay. Even though Ethan was yanked right out from under them.
Which was another adjustment for that freshman group.
Yeah, and they had to kind of scramble together and do it without Ethan, who is obviously a very, very good quarterback. And so everybody adjusted. So their whole kind of high school's been adjusting to things, right?
Yes. You look
Are you
for
frustrated as a parent?
I am, but you know what? Just the fact that the kids are out there again, you know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world. I just want the best for all these kids. I treat them all as my own, and they're all welcome to my home at any time for anything that we have. But just to see them out there playing again is super exciting. But you're right. They have lost a year, and just like these sophomores that are pulled up, well, they haven't had a freshman year.
No, the freshmen. We've got 3 freshmen out there right now, potentially. I think I'm trying to see if 25 of Moreno has gotten in there yet.
I know Moreno started the game at outside backer. It looks like there's Matthew Gutierrez in there at the time.
Yes, right now. He seems to be a pretty good-sized young man for a freshman.
And actually, that was David Camacho that they moved down into the box.
Okay. Okay, a nice tip there for the Brawley Wildcats. Nice defensive pressure. Moreno, of course, you played with Keto, right?
Yes, he's a year younger than me, I believe. But yes, we played together as well.
Yes. So, Matthew, brother Michael, a couple years, for 2 or 3 years for the Wildcats, carried the mail back probably about 3-4 seasons ago. And now you have a freshman, but he has been trained for this. Okay, he was birthed into this. And again,
backside.
Backside. All right.
That's Matthew Gutierrez, another freshman in on the tackle right there.
Okay, so Matthew, they're both Matthews, so we don't want to confuse you. Matthew Moreno is 25. Matthew Gutierrez is 35. And no relation to Ethan.
No.
Okay.
Matthew Gutierrez is actually the little brother of J.J. Gutierrez, who just graduated.
Oh, okay. All right. So he didn't get to play because he wasn't here yet. He was a freshman.
He was a freshman, correct?
Okay, and J.J. Fernandez is going to Laverne, right?
That's Jaden Fernandez.
Jaden Fernandez. Okay. All right. So J.J. Gutierrez, a fine player in his own right. My daughter gives you a shout-out. We are listening. Hi, Donnell.
How you doing?
And, so there you go. And I will keep listening because we're getting next time out. I'll give a shout-out to show Donnell a picture of all my grandkids and give them all a shout-out here in a minute. And Brawley now with a 1st and 10. They hold them off. Nice drive, but Indio gets nothing. Downs. Indio went out on downs, right?
On downs, correct. And on the first down, Brawley up the middle with Isaiah.
Yeah, and this is where we miss Tanner Carranza. And because Tanner would be getting some really valuable running. Because Isaiah, and plus Isaiah, he takes a beating every week. If he gets a few plays off, it's okay. All right, he knows when we get against somebody. When it come.
There goes Gilbert Corrales.
And there goes Gilbert Corrales, and Tweedy is saying bye-bye. And he could not run the guy.
He tried to make that cutback about the 22-yard line.
He should have cut back 10 yards before that. You can't wait that long. But for Gilbert, that's okay.
And we got a hold call.
We got a hold, so okay, we'll put the bird back in the cage and we will continue talking. All right. Okay, Tom Ronco, Donnell Washington. 7:24 to go. We're going to be here till like tomorrow.
Well, you know what? Like you said before, right now with Isaiah, we got a 28-0 lead in the second quarter. Right now, we're probably, if you want to keep him with the running the ball to secure it, for sure hands. Right now, it's that time to get him some rest on the defensive end. Work your corners.
Yep.
As we were backed up to the end zone here shortly ago, they brought in the starting defense again, and that's good. If you want to protect your shutout, but that's also a situation where you get your young players, make them step up. That's a good time to put the pressure on them because that one score is not going to hurt you. It's a pride thing, but it's going to make those younger players step up.
I couldn't agree more. But it's still only the first half, and you don't want to let the genie out of the bottle, the genie being the Indio Rajas, kind of a literary thing there. And back to pass is Ethan. Ethan now with this hoist one up, has a man open.
There goes Daniel Camilo.
And there's Daniel Camilo Jr., who I said just dropped one wide open down here.
Yes, he did.
And you can be too open. It's an oxymoron, but you can. That time, Daniel didn't care who was near him, and he was on near the Brawley sideline, so I'm sure there was some encouragement being directed towards him, like, get it, Daniel, and a big play.
And a good thing is Ethan Gutierrez, after he dropped that, went up and tapped him on the helmet and said, we're definitely going to get that back, and there it is right there on the hitch and go for a touchdown. Okay,
that play looks, they was about the 17, 13-6, so let's call it a 77 yards? 18? Okay. Okay, and so with the kick is up, and the kick is good by Jorge Haro. And that's going to be a touchdown. Another one for Ethan, and we're up 35-0. So while we have a break here, again, I, with the family listening up north, want to say hello and to my grandkids, Russell Thomas Solomini and Eleanor Erlinda Solomini, from my daughter and son-in-law, and the Ronco boys, who are been asleep for like 2 hours in Newport Beach. But nice. they're going to be a crew. Griffin, Tate, and Rowan. And that little guy is like 5 months in that picture. Nice. Yeah, we call him Bruiser already. And he already wants to mess with his brothers, so I love them all. So, the only thing breaks my heart is they won't necessarily be Wildcats, although Russell would if he had a choice. He likes being in Brawley and everything and loves to hear the stories about it. So... until they feel the heat, and then they want to go back home. No, he doesn't. He's kind of funny. He tells people what I do. When it's like 85 degrees in the Bay Area, he goes, "This ain't hot. You want hot? Go to Brawley, about 120." Okay, so he knows it takes a breed, and tonight kind of warm, nice outside, a little stuffy here in the booth, and here come the Wildcats. Now that time, that gentleman made the mistake of running through the lanes and got kind of pancaked out there. And he got introduced to Chris Camilo. Yeah. Okay, Chris now, and you're good friends, Daniel. Yes, sir. Former teammate of yours. Yes. Okay, so Daniel Camilo Sr. we're talking about, and has two sons. And again, this is so wild that he's a sophomore now, right? Correct. He is a sophomore. Chris, right? Okay, it's Daniel Jr. and... Yes, Daniel's a junior, and Chris is a sophomore. He's a sophomore, but he started as a freshman back in the pandemic season. Correct. Okay. And there's still one more to come up. That's a freshman, Andrew. Okay, well, I have no doubt we'll see him before the season's over. And he's the bigger of all three. Okay. Yeah, see, Bruiser. There you go. That's my definitely. Yep. And we got another late flag. Okay, we'll see what's going on. And this referee's earning his money tonight. Oh, unsportsmanlike conduct against Indio. So this is what we're talking about. I think these guys hopefully understand what they're doing. We're up here on a Thursday night because there's not enough officials. We will play Calexico on a Thursday night because the Imperial Valley Football Association does not have enough officials. And some, quite frankly, just aren't coming back from the COVID deal. They don't want to be around a bunch of people. Okay? Although I'll tell you, the safest bunch so far has been the young people.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, that's been the safest ones. Okay, so Indio heading backwards again, and you got to kind of feel a little bit of empathy at this point in time. And Brawley's gonna give it on a counter, and again, the Wildcats with a lot of new people out there trying to see. Chris is 24, correct?
31.
31.
24 is Gilbert Corrales.
Okay, all right.
So Daniel Camilo was 24 last year. This year he changed his number to number 6, and Gilbert Corrales picked up 24.
Oh, okay, good. I'm not going to. And there is Isaiah Young still out there. 31 for the Wildcats. 20. Okay, 20. Oh, 25 is Moreno, Michael Moreno. Okay, so he's in there on the left side outside linebacker. Okay, and a wrestler too, I take it.
Actually, I'm not sure if he's a wrestler.
Okay, and trying to pass the ball, and down goes Indio again. Who, a pretty good sized young man's coming off the field, 72.
That's another wrestler, Alan Carrillo.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he was not at the first game. And then last week, so I don't call his name or number, right?
Correct.
And then last week, he's like all over the place.
Right.
And I put him in the paper, and I'm going, okay, well, so I asked Self, and Self said, well, he was not available for the first game.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of that. And again, we're hoping so far that, everything's holding, Brawley High is holding water. It's not leaking water.
It was a prior engagement, so not to get into too much detail, but it was nothing COVID related, which is good for the team and good for him and his family as well. But now that he is available, we shouldn't have any problems. As long as he stays healthy and the rest of the team stays healthy, we should see a lot of action out of Allen.
And who knew we were going to play?
Right.
I was informed by Billy Brewer in the middle of February, we're playing in 2 weeks. Okay? I go, what? Okay, because I'm just watching the news and there's saying no sports. No, we're playing in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay. Then I get a call 2 days later saying, no, actually we're playing in 1 week because we changed the scrimmage with Hoville to a game. And I'm going, wow. Okay. So you can excuse people who have put off plans for like a year and a half from having some kind of family activity that was important, and it's one football game. And
there was a lot of family discussions that had to be had.
Yeah.
Some families, part of the father may have been on board with it and the mother may not, and vice versa. So there was a lot of discussions at home before the kid could even show up to practice. And protocols, as Isaiah's on the far sideline, does he stay in bounds?
Yes, he does.
For the touchdown.
So for a 40-yard touchdown run, 40 yards. I think Isaiah's proven his point for the night. Although I'm going to, it now makes the score potentially one that would be a running clock in the second half. So we may all hit the highway a little sooner than prognosticated. And everybody's played plenty. It's not like anybody's missed any football. And Hadro
is
not
good.
Okay, failed. All right, Jorge, you let me down, pal. Okay, 41-0 in favor of the Brawley High Wildcats. And that's interesting. I mean, I'm sure that you have, people, like you say, your mom spoils her grandson. And you, pardon me? Is it good? No. And, discussions within your household. There was within the household with my son and my daughter they were very concerned that my grandchildren or they themselves would give it to us, and we are in the, it helped me get my shot sooner.
Right.
I said, hey, man, I got let me have it. Kind of lied a little bit, but that's
right.
Okay. I thought, better be safe, okay?
Right.
So I'm vaxxed up right away. So is my wife, who does have a few of the conditions, and they listed. There's a bunch, so don't think anybody's, But it's something where you say, hey, you don't want to be responsible for something happening to a friend, a family, something like that.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that was the biggest thing for me. I cannot stress how much my parents are involved with Makai, and I love him to death for that. But he's over there all the time. So with the profession that I'm in, that was no decision for me where I'm vaccinated. But again, like I said, there's plenty of households that have different discussions. And just in my own household, my wife is not. And that's something that, we constantly talk about amongst the family. We have that discussion with Makai as well. And we move along as a family. But there's one thing that we keep in common is the care of each other. And so I'm sure there's plenty of households out there like ours that they're still trying to gather information themselves. And now you're looking at a football team where you have 60 families.
Yes.
And they all have to make that same decision, but yet somehow, some way, they have to have that common goal so that their season's not cut short. So hopefully, everybody's doing what they need to do on their end, and when they come to practice, they're being careful and all protocols are being, adhered to the max. And from our experience, and I'm very involved with Mr. Brewer, our athletic director, and school officials, and making sure that the kids have what they need so that they can be protected.
Yes, and that's one of the things that Brawley, of all the teams in the fall, in the spring league, had no problems.
Right.
We might have lost a player or two, but again, as with Tanner Carranza tonight, it is guilt by association or caution based on association. And okay, here we go. Brawley, I don't know what all that was out here with number 8. That's Hutchings, right? Okay, and Indio trying to, you got to go out to these young men because you've been out there. And, Brawley had some seasons like this back in the day, and I'm pretty much sure have been forgotten or wiped out or whatever. But toughest thing to get a coach, in the last, as the soonest I can figure out that this coach took over was like a month ago. So just a lot to ask. Although the AD has come over, he's a former coach at Shadow Hills, which was a legit program. He's now the AD. He's also down there calling the defense to help out. He brought in a coach, and when you have that kind of commitment, nice arm tackle out there. Who got that? Was that Camilo?
I believe that's
number 3 for the Brawley Wildcats.
Noah Gonzalez.
Okay. All right, Noah. Way to get in there. All right. And Noah, another one off the American youth, right?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I believe that was number 7. Juan Arianes is a sophomore that was brought up as well.
Brought up from the JV. Okay, the other addition. The other addition.
So I believe yes. Finally.
Open, and that's always easy when you're the receiver, not so easy when you're the quarterback and
on your back.
Yeah, people are, you can smell the defensive lineman's breath. Yeah, you don't quite hang in there, as long as, unless you're Tom Brady and you know you're going to get 15 if they touch you. So that will work too. Tom Ronco, Donnell Washington, sharing a lot of great information with us. I really appreciate it. I asked him to come up, and he wasn't sure he had anything to say, but everything he said so far has. Have a man open, and okay, this isn't the NFL. You do not have to look back. You just cannot run into the runner or the receiver.
Well, for Charlie not being out on coverage a whole lot, he did a pretty decent job of getting back there, and he's getting his hand up in the receiver's pass, so not bad.
No, Charlie, dad, a good player, and so there you go. And kind of coming on down. And again, another one of your
Yes.
American Youth Football, AYF, yes. Yeah, and you know what? The thing about playing guys your own size is you can play multiple positions, so you learn.
Right. Definitely.
You may be the big kid one year, and then everybody grows a little bit, and the next year you're something else. Back to pass. This would be the last play. And, no, it's not. Cannot end on a defensive penalty. Coverage out there by Noah.
Number 7, J.D. Arianes.
Yeah, and they're going to call him for pass interference. And I hate to I'm not disparaging our JV, but usually in a JV game there's not a lot of passing. And he has been doing nothing but defending the pass. So this is excellent for him no matter where he ends up. And I think we'll see a lot of different players this year going up and down. Do you go to the JV games?
Yes. So I try to go and support the freshmen and the JV. We have numerous friends on all levels, but not only that, one of the things I try to tell my son when practice is over, always go support the other kids, because you know what? They're going to come and support you, and just help them with that motivation. Make them keep working to get to the point where you guys are.
Yep. It's all Brawley football. I did not think Indio had another timeout, but apparently I was fooled by that. And the Wildcats, not knowing what's going on, I don't think they thought they had one either. Okay, so wait a minute. So who?
They're taking the delay of game.
Oh, they're taking a delay of game. Okay, so that means the 40-second clock, however, should be running, right?
As soon as the
it's a dead ball. Dead. But no, they're saying now 25 seconds after the penalty is walked off. I was reading this thing. I think. See the back judge? He's looking at his watch.
Correct.
Okay, so now they've got 25 or 40 seconds to get the play off, no matter what the game clock says. Just so to let everybody know, the back judge, which is the guy way back there by the goalpost if you're looking at the video while you're listening to us, okay, that gentleman resets a time clock, a play clock, just like they do in basketball. It's supposed to be visible, but nobody has the equipment or the personnel, especially in a pandemic, to be doing this. So eventually you're going to come to the game and you're going to see that kind of thing, okay? And now they're going to set up and attempt a field goal. And this is going to be number 8 kicking.
And
the kick is up.
Flag.
And we have another flag, and it is no good. But depending on what it is, if it's on the offense, then they can decline it. Here we go. Dead ball foul. Offside on Brawley. Okay, Wildcats can't. Okay.
They're trying to come after it. They're trying to keep the 0 shutout.
Yeah, but that's not how you do that. But anyway, okay. So they get another shot at it. Indio, by the way, has not scored in 2 games. So this is the kicker's first time kicking, and that is not easy. It's a little bit more than an extra point, but not more, maybe 5 yards more. But it's your first kick. It went shanked badly to the left. Let's see if he can recover. And again, these are kind of fragile people, a lot of times soccer players, and he kicks it up, and it is no good. Okay, so he missed it twice to the left. If he does it again, he'll miss it to the right. That's just the way this goes. Okay, a look at the scoreboard at halftime. It is Brawley 41 and the Indio Rajas 0. Brawley, I don't believe, is heading to a locker room. Don't quite know exactly what's up. Pretty good crowd for a Thursday night, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely not bad.
Our side, our side is here very good. On Indio's side, you could tell it was Indio's first home game.
Yeah, I think a lot of the parents are happy that it's just a short drive and they could get back home very shortly as opposed to coming over the mountain. So,
a Thursday night game in San Diego. That's going to be, unless you got, unless you take Friday off, I don't see how that would ever work.
Definitely coming back from Chula Vista last weekend, even though it was a Friday, that was rough.
Oh, yeah. I did not go there. I went to, my son lives in Newport, and that was an hour and 45 minutes in itself. So I can't imagine from down close to the border trying to climb over the mountains. I think We are at halftime. Have a seat. Let me run a spot here and let everybody know kind of who our billboard is. And we will get back to it. Donnell Washington, Tom Ronco. And this is your 2019 billboard. And let's see if we can kind of...
Welcome
Oops.
at football. This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Brawley football is sponsored by Hart Insurance Company, the Dom Team for Real Estate, Johnny's Burritos, Ojeda Industries, The Man Company, OK Rubber Tire, Jordan Central Implements, Desert RV, Brant Beef, Carter Taylor and Lidco, Clayton Drain Tile Maintenance, Fry Chapel and Mortuary, Clicka Parker Insurance Company, A&R Construction, Brawley Auto Center, Smith Candle Insurance and Real Estate, and One World Beef Packing. And now, here is the Wildcat Broadcasting team of Tom Ronco.
That's me. How are you?
I'm doing well.
With me is Donnell Washington. We are talking about Brawley football. He is giving us a just great background on how things have changed. And this is, at what point did as you say, it's been, 3 or 4 years since Pop Warner went away?
So it's now been we're about 6 years out of it now.
Okay.
Because these boys are 3 years in high school now, and they played about 3 years into it.
Okay. And again, for those of you that played Pop Warner or played for Brawley High or know somebody that played Pop Warner, that again was based on weight. So you had a division and you had to get weighed before every game. I remember they did that when my son played. And I remember that we were in a 142-pound division, and then you were able to get up to 145 by the end of the season.
Right.
And I also remember we went to Fallbrook to play in this bowl game. And I remember Andrew Dom was a quarterback. Brandon was a running back. We kept starving poor Brandon because he was all muscle. And it was, you can't lose weight if you don't have it. I mean, he had zero body fat.
Right.
So we just kind of, poor young man, but greatest attitude you ever wanted. And we went in there and we had people varying from 130 pounds to 145 pounds. I mean, nobody was the same. Then this team comes in from Fallbrook somewhere else, Poway. And we find out that Poway takes all of the freshmen who are under 145 pounds and makes them play Pop Warner rather than freshmen unless they're really, really good. So these guys come in and it was 145, 145, 145, 145.
Right.
I mean, they maxed it out and they maxed out the age. And again, we couldn't use a lot of the guys that blocked for Brandon in high school couldn't play.
Right.
So now we're getting more of a mix. But on the other hand, you are also now playing against people who are more than, say, 5-6 pounds bigger than you are, right?
Correct. So both leagues have their positive and their negatives. I completely understand the whole Pop Warner theory of using weight because you have some kids that are just huge. And, you have someone that's starting now, but they may not have the size, and they're going to get ran over by these guys. But at the same token, as you get older and right before you're going into high school, you have these bigger kids that have never had the opportunity to play, so their skills are years behind other kids their age. Where you go to an area where, the Imperial Valley might have Pop Warner, but out here in the Coachella Valley or something like that, and they have AYF, those bigger kids that you're going to play as a freshman in league, they've been playing for a couple years. So now the Valley kids are behind, or vice versa. So each league has their pros and cons, and you could completely understand the safety issues behind those. But when it comes to just football as a freshman and the high school level, AYF is better preparing those kids, I would say, because they're able to play with the kids of their age group.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Carrillo, is he an AYF kid?
No, he wasn't playing at the time.
Okay. He's just a good athlete.
Correct.
Okay.
His focus was mostly on wrestling around that time.
Yeah, youth wrestling, and they wrestle all year long.
Right.
There is no off season in terms of wrestling. If you have the roster real quick, can you kind of run down some of the kids you know that are from this? Because again, this is new to me. Been around Brawley football since forever. It seems like
From the AYF.
Yeah, from the AYF.
So it's not a full roster, but from what I have, 32 Mario Cazares, 24 Gilbert Corrales, 55 Julius Diaz, 54 Brody Anders. I don't recall if Dawson played or not. He could have been the year before. Number 3, Noah Gonzalez, Ethan Gutierrez. Yes. One of the parents that were highly involved with that was Eileen Gutierrez, Matthew Gutierrez's mother, Ryan Rebular with Elms Equipment, and Bobby Sanchez. They were kind of a few of the people that kind of led the charge with going to AYF. So back when my father, Don Campbell, was president, we were still with the Pop Warner, and that's where discussions began. But they helped lead that charge up to par with, the San Diego teams that now we're part of that San Diego section.
Yeah.
And I can remember as when I played for high school, when we went out, we played in the LA section.
Yeah.
But when we got to teams like Bloomington, we were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, where do you create these guys? Here everybody thought I was tall at 6'3", and
No. You were, yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I just, I remember as athletic director going to play. I believe we went to what's one of the schools in Riverside. Not North. North we played in football. I don't want to ever remember that game. But we played one of the schools in Corona, that area, Riverside, Corona area. And I met their AD and everything, and he was warming up, and, we had never played them. And, he said, hey, and your team is pretty good, and Brawley held their own, and then eventually they kind of pulled away. They just had more power. And anyway, about the 5th inning or so, I'm talking with their AD, and he said, "Hey, we should maybe schedule some games." And I looked at him and I said, "Your baseball team could post up my basketball team."
right.
So basketball is off the table. I'm not doing that to my kids. I ain't gonna have them running around, where we can't get the ball in the hole to anybody. So yeah, they do a lot of that. And in San Diego now, AY American Youth Football, is that now taking over San Diego as well?
So San Diego, they
have both.
They have a little bit of both, I believe. But they also, I believe, they have something called the All-American, which is similar to
That's what
AYF.
I see in Northern California.
Correct. So I don't think they have Pop Warner anymore. A lot of those teams we've seen out in Florida through the AYF, like the Chula Vista, I think it's Toros, South Bay Toros. You have also the, oh my God, they're silver and black. I can't even think of their names right now. Balboa Raiders.
Okay.
So, they were out there through the AYF as well. Again, I don't recall the Pop Warner teams out there or where they had their championships. But most of the advertisements is mostly through AYF now.
Okay. All right. Tom Ronco with Donnell Washington. We're talking about the program that's contributing now and a change in the guard from Pop Warner to a program called AYF, American Youth Football. Also, there's All-American, I believe you said it was, and I've seen that advertised in Northern California. So a number of youth things, whereas at one point in time you played Pop Warner in Brawley or you played flag football for your junior high or whatever. We're at halftime. Score is Brawley 41, the Indio Rajas nothing. And it's kind of been a game where the Wildcats have been able to play a lot of Wildcats, and that's what we kind of needed to do. The first 2 games, just kind of hanging in there. It was dig deep, and the young men will be home for the rest of the season. We will not leave the Imperial Valley. In actuality, for the rest of the season, we will only make 2 trips to El Centro. One to take on Southwest and one for the Bell game.
Correct.
So every other year, and again, league is changing. The Palo Verde Yellow Jackets are now out of the Imperial Valley League, so it is down now to 5 teams, which makes for a bye, which everybody had a bye, but now you don't have control over it. So Brawley's bye is now coming up the week before the Bell game. So what's going to happen is Brawley is going to play Calexico at home on October 14th, and then not play again until the Bell game on October 29th.
Yes.
And I know Coach John Self would rather have a bye this week, next week, because we need to heal up a little bit. And we don't need to heal up for the Bell game. Bell game is all hands on deck.
Correct.
You know, you'd have to be in a cast right up to your neck or before you would not play.
Absolutely. No matter what, you're going to be ready for that game.
Yeah. And so we don't need the extra week. The extra weeks actually may be a distraction because you can't practice them. You can't keep that sustained adrenaline for 2 weeks. So it's just not. But Billy Brewer, did his best, and it is not easy in a pandemic when schools in San Diego don't want to play you. You don't want to travel too far. We got somebody. Let me see if I can. Oh, he's got his mask on. That's good.
Is that Noah Gonzalez?
No, here, you take a look. You know their faces better than I do. I see them through a helmet. He's walking just fine.
Yeah, I think that's Noah Gonzalez with his gear in his hand.
Okay. So, but he's walking, seems to be okay. Don't want to spook anybody, so we will wait to see if number 3 gets back on the field or not. Got a couple of minutes here now, this mandatory kind of warm-up type of thing, so that the players in this kind of heat, I imagine if we were in Wyoming and there was snow on the field, you'd need the 3 minutes. I have always felt it was kind of a non-issue here in the desert, but that's okay. A lot of people do not understand the desert. They say, "Oh, I live there." Well, understand it first and think about it. Brawley again next week will take on the Cibola Raiders, I believe. Correct?
Cibola at home.
Yes, Friday tomorrow night, Imperial will host Cibola, and this is interesting, Donnell. When you played, and up till this year, I promise you, they always started around the 8th or 9th of August. They always had at least one game and possibly 2 games on us before we even started.
Right.
They are not starting till tomorrow night.
Which is definitely a change.
Yeah, and they're going to play through November 12th when I was an AD, they wanted their season done with playoffs by the first week of November so that kids that played winter sports, wrestling, basketball, soccer, whatever, could get out there and get on with the next season. So they were always in a hurry to get everything done. Their JV teams did not get full complements of games. I remember their JV football could only play 8 games. Their freshmen were allowed like 7 games.
Right.
They don't give them. They want to get them done and get them on to the next sport. Okay, if you're playing that. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow night because for the first time ever, Coach David Shaw, the new head coach at the Imperial Tigers, former coach up at Calipatria, former Tiger star in 3 sports, he is going to actually have a game advantage over Cibola.
Nice.
So when they come to Brawley, this is going to be their 2nd game, and it's going to represent our 4th game. So we'll see how that works out. Same thing with Gila Ridge the next week. It will be Gila Ridge's 2nd game, but Brawley's 5th game.
Right.
So, we always used to say, "Oh man, they played more games than we did." Well, we'll find out if that helps us.
Exactly.
I mean, it's easy to complain about it when you don't have any like empirical evidence, but we will see what happens. To add insult to injury, with Brawley leading 41-0 as we open the second half, Tom Runco with Donnell Washington, Indio has to kick off. So yes, we're going to drop some sponsors on you, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Wildcat football is sponsored by OK Rubber Tire Company, Jordan Central Implements, Desert RV, Brant Beef, Carter Taylor and Lidco, Clayton Drain Tile, and Fry Chapel and Mortuary. And now back to exciting Brawley High Wildcat football.
Okay, getting ready for the second half kickoff, and let's see who's deep.
Looks like we got Daniel Camilo and Brandon Portis, number 4.
Okay, and Brandon, we're going to talk about if you know anything about him here in a second. And here's Camilo. No, don't do that. Run straight and die like a man. Jumping around is how you get hurt. Somebody grabs an ankle, grabs an arm, and you're twisting, and it never ends well. Okay, and again, in this game, we don't want anything to happen to you, but good for him back there. So there's a Brandon Portis and a Brian Portis.
Yes, so Brian Portis is the starting center for the Wildcats. And Brandon, he's a freshman that he's more of a receiver type, and I've seen him work out a lot with Matthew Gutierrez and Matthew Moreno. I haven't seen too much game film on him. I do know he has very nice hands when they're warming up, so hopefully that translates to the game. He had a very nice catch over the middle earlier.
Yes, and a little bit of jitters. Let one go.
Right.
Missed one, yeah.
So I know he's worked. He puts in the work. He's worked out with the fellas a lot. So I think it'll translate. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more out of him today.
Okay, let's see. Dawson Figueroa, I believe, is a quarterback. And promptly loses the football, and Indio has it. So, okay, that is not instilling any confidence in anybody. And Figueroa is going to stay on the field and play defense. So pretty tough your first snap. But again, you would want to concentrate, you would think, a little bit more on that.
Right. And this is where we're going to work on it.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'd rather he come into this game and drop the first snap than he comes into a game where we might have to, press him into service, and he'll be ready.
Right.
He'll now remember the first thing going out is he's going to say to himself, don't drop the snap, right?
Right.
Do not drop. Now, it also could have been he did not have Brian as the center. So Indio now has got great field position, and they have a 1st and 10 on 20, about the 20? 21 maybe.
So we got a real young group out there, but they do have Aiden Torres back at safety, so their little safety valve. There goes Dawson. Swings him out of bounds.
Yep, Dawson a little bit upset. For Indio now, I think we have a new quarterback. In the first half, it was number 4, and that was Fabian Garcia. Now we have a senior, Hosea Huerta, 5'9", a senior, and I guess is that number? Yeah, it's number 8. They don't list him as a quarterback, but that's number 8, correct? I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, that's number 8, and they're lined up in doubles.
Okay, and here we go, and he's a wide receiver by trade and gets kind of knocked down out there by number 12 for the Brawley High Wildcats. And number 12 is, there we go, I got him. You're right.
Aiden Torres.
Aiden Torres. Okay. And he is another junior?
Another junior, correct.
Yeah. I tell you what, next year we're going to have so many seniors, it's going to be really good. Really, really good. Okay, they're going to give it to 22. That's Moran, trying to get Indio's first touchdown of the season. And he did.
And they're in.
And they're in. So, okay, Brawley fumbles the... Okay, so a fumble by Dawson becomes suddenly a touchdown. And Indio is going to be on the scoreboard. And I don't know if they're stopping the clock. Yes, they are. So apparently we're not playing a running clock. At least not at this point. So I don't know if they don't know not to stop it or what's going on, but you don't stop it for anything. And Indio kicks the extra point. So it's 41-7. And good feelings on our side of the field where the press box is for Indio, and deservedly so. But I'm sure there's no anxiety on the other side of the field quite yet.
So
although John Bishop, yes, and John Self, as you played for John Bishop.
I played for Bishop, and Self was my defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and neither one of them like to give up points.
Not at all.
They take it as a personal affront sometimes, right?
So back then we used to have film on Saturdays, and we would definitely hear about it at film study.
Yeah, I would go in there to do some research and to watch the game film, because when you're doing this, you do miss stuff. And I fortunately got some thick skin because I used to get I've been chewed out by a coach or 2 or 3 or 20, so we know what we're doing. So Brawley's going to reset. They got the opening kickoff, promptly fumbled it. Now we'll see. Still Camilo back? No.
Yes, you got Camilo, but now you got Isaiah back there as well. Looks like you have the starting group out or not completely. You have Aiden Torres, Chris Camilo, Matthew Gutierrez is up back. Dawson's on the other side.
So Gutierrez is playing a fair share.
Yes. Looks right now he's in the spot for Damian Abarca as an up back.
Yep. And here we go. Here's Isaiah. Isaiah's going to take off the other way. He's going to bounce back. He's going to be on his feet. And Isaiah may take it to the house. He's got one guy to beat, and he can't get around him. Stiff arms him. And finally, the guy brings him down. And that's gutsy little kicker, I'll tell you what. Most kickers would have just kind of done the old matador. Yes. Oh, I missed him.
And we got a flag back at the 29-yard line.
Okay,
so
we're going to see this coming on back. And generally, a flag in that area on a return is not good news for the returning team. And oh, no.
They're not moving back at all. So
no, they're taking it. They're going first down. So somebody picked up the laundry. Wow.
Well, that referee's not going to be too happy because he has to go all the way back and get his flag.
No, it's not there. Didn't he pick it up?
No, it's still there on the 29-yard line.
Oh, you know what? It might have fell out of his pocket. He probably doesn't even know it's missing. Okay.
Well,
so
keep the
Brawley
clock
with it. Brawley with a great return. And the ball is currently, where are we at? The 20, the 30, 20.
The 26.
26.
And Matt Moreno with the carry up the middle.
Hey, Matthew Moreno was his first carry. And again, just good lineage. Got the Anayas on one side.
Yes, he
got
does.
the Morenos on the other. And the Anayas, not as flashy a name in football as the Morenos, but they do the heavy lifting. They were in the trenches. They are the trench people. Okay? And so, good DNA on both sides. Good wrestlers on both sides. It's just, tell you what, I don't know if it's genetic engineering or what, but it works. It works. Dawson Figueroa now, a little calmer than the first time, and gives it to Matthew Moreno, who does the Moreno spin move. I noticed he learned that at home, right? The minute you hit somebody, you spin.
Try to spin out of it.
Try to spin. Hit and spin.
Good thing is he had both hands on the ball, so he's protecting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure when he was brought up, that was some of the instructions from home. So Moreno now, and number 25, packing the mail for the Wildcats, comes with a 3rd and 1. And a late addition to the game is number 44. And Dawson's saying, wait a minute, what are you doing? He's in at tight end. Who is 44?
That'd be Brody Van Diver.
Oh, okay.
Coach Van Diver's son.
Yeah, Ray's. Okay, and up the middle. And let's see where they spot it. I believe that's Moreno again, correct?
Yes, I believe so. Looks like he's got enough for the first down as well.
And following Van Diver's block. And we have a Raja down. And a Raja up. Okay. All right, so the Wildcats now knocking at the door again. And they just noticed that the guy was still in there. And here we go. Trying to look on offense. Isaiah is not the running back, so he's been getting a rest for a while on offense. Wildcats in a tight formation, double tight end. Here's Moreno weaving his way. Now, is Gutierrez a running back also?
Gutierrez is actually the quarterback for the freshman team.
Okay. So he's not going to stay up here.
Well, so from my understanding, he was brought up to play linebacker. So,
as long as he didn't play defense in the freshman game,
correct,
he can play defense in the varsity game.
And this week the freshman game was canceled, so he's afforded the whole game.
Technically, he's a free agent.
Right.
Okay.
So I believe when he comes up, he'll be for the use of linebacker.
Okay, Tom Rodko, Donnell Washington, bringing up all kinds. This game has, pandemic. I know I got a little rusty, but it just seems like. It just changed overnight.
And pushing the pile.
Yeah, this is scrum. And the Wildcats in there, number 57. Looks like kind of a clean jersey. Let's see if we can get his number. And again, mine is, unfortunately, Ray likes to do it by alphabetic. That helps me.
Adon Herrera.
Okay, Adon Herrera, I'm sure. And we'll try to see who the center is coming out. You can be my wingman on that one. Okay, and they've also pulled out number 5, right? He's not in the game.
No, he's not.
Okay, that's why you're relaxed, right?
It does help.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, the center is number 51. That's Brian, right?
Actually, no, 51 is Rhett Smeltzer.
Oh, okay, there you go. You did give me that. Okay.
Right now, I believe all the starters are out.
Okay, number 25, Moreno, tries to get outside.
In for the touchdown, Matt Moreno.
Okay, so Moreno on a 5-yard run. And the Wildcats will extend the lead. And we'll see if Haro, who let me down just before halftime, no, not really. It's hard to get out there and keep concentrating, you know what I mean? I mean, either you don't kick enough or you kick too much. That doesn't seem to be the right recipe.
And the starters had to strap it back up. They weren't ready.
Okay, yeah, the special teams. Yeah, you can't mess around with that. Haro's kick is up, and it is good. So here we go. All right. Let's take a quick little break here and pay the bills. We'll be back.
This webcast is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Brawley football is sponsored by Hart Insurance Company, the Dom Team for Real Estate, Johnny's Burritos in El Centro, Brawley, and Imperial, Ojeda Industries, and the Man Company.
All right, welcome back to Ed White Stadium on the campus of Indio High School. Thursday night football. I don't think there's such a movie as coming down on the airplane. They had Friday night lights, and I thought, nah, not this week. The lights will be dim tomorrow night. However, and I'm sure the coaches will be in Imperial to watch Imperial Cibola.
Definitely.
To get a little bit of a look-see at both teams. See what David Shaw has in store for the Wildcats a little later down the season. They will come to Brawley. And David lived in Brawley for a long time. His boys played Brawley, Pop Warner, I guess, back then.
Actually, they played both. They played with us when we were Pop Warner. And, well, by the time AYF came, they were in Imperial.
He moved
but yes,
back.
they played both programs.
Yes. And Brawley's lost in certain. Okay, Indio now with a Hado with another Poochie, and they're going to let it go out of bounds, so it'll be at the 35-yard line. And again, lots of bodies out there. Let's see if we. I don't see Noah. Do you? I think you might have nailed that one.
No, I don't.
I'm looking for number.
I don't see anybody on the bench over there, so hopefully he's just walking around with the team and everything's all right.
Yeah. Ethan Gutierrez over there giving offensive coordinator Brandon Young some pointers. I got news for you. Ethan, you would have wished, as good as Isaiah is, that you were handing off to Brandon too. Has a big burst of speed. Oops. Okay.
Little Gatorade wrapper.
Yeah, somebody up playing around, getting nervous on the roof. All right, 1st and 10, Indio. They trail 48-7.
Charlie.
Oh, Charlie misses the sack. And remember, this is a young man who is listed as a, no, now it's number 4 again. So 4 is back in a quarterback. And made a nice open field run.
And
the trouble when you blitz like that is...
Right, you got to control your speed. And Charlie's got that speed, but he's got to control it and break down and make that tackle. And the sophomore, J.D. Arianes, came up with a nice open field tackle right there.
Yep, sure did. And yeah, Charlie, the dad, Charlie also had good speed, a little more size, but back then it seemed like everybody had a little more size. Number 22, Dawson. I think he took his eye off the ball. It almost hit him.
Yeah, he was looking for the tackle more so than the ball. Almost hit him right in the helmet.
Okay, they are stopping the clock. I thought they would be running it, but maybe both coaches agreed not to. At some point, I think in the fourth quarter, we may get to that. And again, be nice to be home next Friday night, I'll tell you that. Going to seem kind of strange in a way, but we will be there for 5 of the remaining 7 games. So that's a nice to know. And again, okay, that time somebody else ran themselves out of a play. And that's number 44 for the Brawley Wildcats. And look up 44.
44, that's Van Diver.
Oh, that's okay. That's Brody Van Diver.
So it's nice to see that they're getting some pressure, but again, they're going to have to control it and keep them in the pocket.
They're learning a lesson. Going to be a long drive home. It's going to be a long, because you want to get in there and you want to play, but then coaches are going to say to you, "Hey, we put you in there, and here's what you look like."
Exactly.
So films can be kind of brutal, as you were talking about. 4:22 to go, and another run, and spins out, and a nice open field tackle. That time after a couple of misses, grabbing a little bit high and running right through some Wildcats.
And I think you're right. The referees didn't even realize they're missing their flag. But that was a nice recovery by Brody Van Diver to make it, because he came in for the rush and he made it back for the tackle.
Yeah, he chased the guy down from behind.
Very excellent hustle.
That's right. No quit in that Wildcat. Did a nice story on him. The pandemic, if it didn't, nothing else, gave a chance for all 3 coaches, Brandon Young, Ray Van Diver, and John Self, to have all 3 of their sons play together.
Right.
And that's something you can't, you remember after the years, although I'm sure they all would have traded it for a regular year. Okay, nice run up the middle. Indios, again, trying to get something going. Cannot blame them. Hey, this is football. Nobody said, to turn it in. Fortunately, they're trying to do it on the ground rather than in the air as they were in the first half. So,
well, just this little bit right here, whether it be on the ground or in the air, just this little bit get a score here, and it starts building that confidence. You're not trying to get it all back at once. You're just a play at a time, work on your keys, get your blocks, and something to move forward to for next week in practice. That little bit in film study will go a long way with these kids.
Again, Indio plays in the Desert Valleys, not to be confused with the Desert Empire, and they're going to call timeout. And again, the difference being that just too many teams in the DVL. When you were in the southern section, you remember that the top 3 teams went to the playoffs. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
And Zadie, the CIF, would call me up and say, they didn't ask me who won the league. They didn't ask me anything. They'd say, who's your 1, who's your 2, who's your 3. If there was tri-champions, still, they didn't care. Who's your 1, who's your 2, who's your 3. And we had this like 20 pages of tiebreakers to determine who was 1, 2, and 3. Because in basketball, football, we got tri-champions.
Right.
Or we got co-champions. But you couldn't leave it at that because they didn't care. They were not giving you a number 1 and a 1A.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Well, the downside of that was that at one point the Desert Valleys League got to be 10 teams. Well, now you're saying, okay, you're starting the season and 7 teams are guaranteed not to make the playoffs. So we split it up. Okay. And actually formed the IVL. And that made it, we had 3 chances out of 6. That sounded a little better.
Definitely.
That sounded a little better. All right, here goes the Rajas again. Now they're going to go with the Power I. Haven't seen that baby in a while. And they're going to get a touchdown. Okay. And nobody told 41 he was in the end zone.
I believe that's Chris Hutchinson. Or Dominic Molina, excuse me.
Okay, another young man just getting out there. Is he a junior also, or?
Actually, I'm not sure about Dominic.
Okay, I have another roster somewhere where I think I wrote all of their years down. Brawley does not like to give out that information. You get name and number. You don't get height, weight, anything. So, let me see if I can dig that one up. I did note who they were, but it's basically the starters. So could well be. Once in a while, good classes come along. That's
fumble the snap.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, us, the parents in the stands, we got a little group text going on trying to figure out what age the kids are. So
are they going to be back?
Soon enough, we'll have a roster with their ages.
Okay, well, share it with me when you get it, okay? I would appreciate it.
Hand, Coach Self.
Yeah, well, it's back to John. It's back to Coach Bishop. Yeah. And again, one of the best coaches. I will put his record and his resume up against anybody. I don't care who you are. He's, no one sustained once in a sustained manner as long as Coach John Bishop did in the Imperial Valley. Now, Cal Jones was an excellent football coach. Did he coach 20-something years in the Valley? No. So that's a difference. I'm not saying he is the best coach but consistency was what he bred and was still going on now. In 1995 football team, I remember had something like 37 seniors.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And, I remember people in the stand yelling, play my kid, he's a senior. Well, that's a long line.
The whole roster.
Yeah, and next year, we're going to have the same kind of issue in a certain way. Although these young men seem to be kind of, coming in and out, playing different positions. Again, probably from youth football where you just had the next man up, right?
Right. A lot of them had to learn multiple positions, and we wanted them to always be prepared because what we were playing them in youth, Coach Self may not have seen that in them. So we always told them, you have to be open-minded, and once you get to high school, it's, Coach, where do you want me? Not, this is where I play.
Yeah. Now you can tell there were a few new bodies out there because some people stop, and you never stop. You never stop. You just find somebody and you keep running, and the first time you see another color, which should be pretty easy tonight,
right?
Even for me, my age, you just hit them and keep moving. Or you keep hitting them until they move.
And I didn't see a fair catch signal, so.
No, he just didn't know. It was a short guy, and he just goes, do I run? What do I do?
Kind of just gave himself up.
Yeah, but everybody else kind of stopped because they didn't see him going in any direction. Part of it is you look back to see where you got to block, right? You want to block your guy away from where the ball's going. But when the guy's standing there holding the ball, that's a tough decision. Tom Rodko, Donnell, Washington. We're coming to you with the Brawley Wildcats up 48-14 now.
13.
Oh, excuse me, 13. That's right. It was a big pile up there. 48-13. And that's Moreno, right?
Yes, Moreno.
Yeah. Now, is it my imagination, or is he running with a little bit more authority?
He looks really good running. He had to step over someone, but he kept his head downfield, and he was looking for that next move before he got tripped up. Very, very good run inside.
Okay. But, I mean, you can tell he's had a series now, right? And
right.
He's not intimidated.
The jitters are out.
Not that no, I shouldn't say intimidated. The jitters are out. You caught it correctly. No. Moreno's intimidated. No. Nope. Nice pitch back. And trying to get number 7 around the corner.
Looks like he may have gotten enough for the first down. J.D. Adianis on the carry.
Yep. J.D., one of the new guys. All right, there he is. J.D., okay. All right. And he is a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Okay. So, did he... Oh, he couldn't play with this other group. Sometimes kids get to school earlier, like my daughter, at 4 instead of 5, and then they are always like a year behind. She couldn't drive till she was a senior.
Oh, right, due to age.
Yeah, and that was not a good year. But anyway, all her friends were driving as sophomores, so that was not good. But anyway, apparently she's got over it and moved on. But so some of these young men could be like a sophomore, but actually did play with the juniors. But probably not, right?
No, actually none of them, I believe, did that. But a lot of them, due to COVID, were working out with each other.
Yeah.
We had different little sessions where they were separate, but like one of the older kids would stay behind and try to teach them some drills, just kind of on our own, just so that they wouldn't fall behind. There's a good group of parents that like to, be involved with their kids, and they're here.
You can see this. It doesn't look like much because it holds about 10,000 people on the other side, but it's a good. Oh, Moreno tried to do a little back and forth.
And actually, that was Miguel.
No, that was Miguel, yep. Number 20 for the Brawley Wildcats. Miguel Ramirez. Junior? Sophomore, senior?
I believe he is a junior.
Okay, I think he...
Because he did play with the boys when they were on the 14U team, so...
Ramirez would be yet another junior. I'm telling you, we're going to have Brian Portis. Was he also on the team?
I'm sorry, what was the name?
Brian?
Yeah, Brian is the center.
Yeah.
Brandon, yes.
And he was on the team?
Yes.
Okay. Well, look at the scoreboard from Ed White Stadium on the campus of Indio High School. Brawley 48 and the Indio Rajas 13. We'll be right back.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Brad, I can help with coverages. Man-to-man coverage, zone coverage, combo coverage.
I don't know, Peyton. I was thinking the types of coverages that your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, like home, auto, business, life, farm, boat, your tour bus.
Products availability varies by state, agent, and other factors. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company, Columbus, Ohio.
For all your many sides, there's Nationwide. Call Hart Insurance Center, 898 Main Street, Brawley, or in the Prince Plaza, 1503 North Imperial Avenue, El Centro. Since 1945, we have a heart for personal service.
Welcome back to Indio High School. Brawley up 48-13. I want to thank Donnell Washington for coming by and just filling this with, just blowing this broadcast, webcast up. Got to remember I'm not on radio anymore. I don't know how many years that place has got to be closed, but it's Old dog, new tricks.
Oh, man.
And thank you so much for stopping by. By the way, he's not done for the night. He's got to get over there and get the burritos and everything else organized. So this is a great group of parents, all of them, and it's just great support. And hope you can come on out and support these kids. They have been on the road, and a good home crowd would really, 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 I think, lift their spirits up next week.
Definitely.
Yeah, Donnell, thank you. We'll have you back.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Here we go. All right. We're in the fourth quarter. Should be a running clock at some point in time because they don't like the things to just pull it.
They don't like the teams to run up the score, at least not in San Diego.
Competitive equity. I don't know about the southern section. Used to be every man for themselves. And the Wildcats will now punt, and the punter is number 12. And the ball's bouncing around. And remember, Tanner Carranza, who's been doing an excellent job of punting for the Brawley High Wildcats, is out tonight due to COVID protocol, not COVID, okay, and that's Aiden Torres. And Torres does a very nice job. So the Wildcats, apparently have a little more depth at a couple of key positions. In the past, when the punters gone down for whatever reason, it's not worked out well, but that was a nice punt by Torres. And the Wildcats do not look like they're organized, so Brawley is going to call timeout, and they are going to stop the clock, which is interesting. So I guess we will not have a running clock tonight. And we'll be back.
This portion of Wildcat Football is brought to you by Clicka Parker Insurance Brokers, located at 350 G Street in Brawley. Stop by and talk with Jeff or Holly, or give them a call at 760-344-0600. That's Clicka Parker Insurance Brokers. Go Wildcats from Clicka Parker Insurance.
Okay, welcome back to Indio High School. Tom Ronco. I want to thank again Donnell Washington for just a great job. And I asked Donnell to join me because he had, again, I know, just a great background on the young men on this team. And that's one of the things that, we like to emphasize. Okay, Indio now just going to kind of try to get back and get a touchdown. And again, good pressure, but the Wildcats cannot, are dropping back. They're doing what they can. Indio's still trying to go with it. The referee's going to come out, and there's going to be a hold. That's how he escaped the rush. So again, slows the clock down. Lots and lots of penalty yards, but we will see what happens next. And again, the Wildcats with a lot of young men getting much needed experience tonight, and that's exactly why this game was on the schedule. Okay, here we go now. 1st and 20. And run up the middle. Pole got right in my way, and we see that. Okay, and that's going to not get more than a couple, which is fine. Oh, and a sack. The Wildcats finally get in, and now it's going to be forward progress, however. And they are going to, it always gets kind of pushed back a little bit. Okay, so that's going to bring up third down and a whole bunch. How about 20-something, 28 maybe? And the Brawley High Wildcats just kind of playing this one out, leading 48-13. And getting, again, a lot of good experience for a lot of young men who have been waiting a long time. Almost 2 years for some of this. And again, running out of the pocket. Nice open field tackle out there by number 22. That's Dawson Figueroa. And that's going to bring up third or fourth and make it about 20. And the Rajas will punt away the football. And I believe he stayed in bounds. I think, yep, the clock is continuing to run. Okay, we've gone over it a couple of times, but if you're just kind of tuning in to pick up the score, stay with us for a second, and we will be more than happy to, more than happy to let you know what the rest of the Wildcat schedule looks like. We have some games coming up, all 3 in a row, the next 3 at home. We'll finish out September. The Cibola Raiders, who play the Imperial Tigers tomorrow night. Gila Ridge out of Yuma, Arizona, and Fallbrook. And we will see how that ends, and then Brawley will start IVL play. Okay. And knocked out of bounds, I believe, just short of the first down. The field judge late to the game on that one, where he went out of bounds, and by the time the field judge got there to spot that, he's giving a guess, and they're going to give them a first down. That was bad. Okay. I mean, I know Brawley's winning, but you got to have some kind of an integrity. And, we played this on Thursday because, you want to get the best officials you can, and that just not good. Okay. You saw it. There was a time when my partner Slim Shady and I had to fill you in on all that, but you saw it just like I did. And again, Brawley protecting a lead that's pretty insurmountable. So we'll just, unfortunately, the runner went out of bounds and got a new quarterback now. I believe they've been switching people around. No, it's number 4 is back in there. And they've got everybody in the formation, so they're going to try, and he's going to do a straight run. It's kind of a shotgun run, and he dances around, got some pretty decent moves. Run out of bounds over there by number 10 for the Brawley High Wildcats. Oops, trying to. 10 is David Camacho. So Camacho runs them out of bounds. Thought I had not said that name, so I wanted to make double sure on that. Camacho over here on the camera side of the field. We are, of course, in the press box. At number 51 is Schmelzer. 44 is, I believe, okay, we got a man. They're going to fake it and run the quarterback again up the middle. And Brawley's got to kind of wrap up a little bit better down there, but they're learning. Okay, Brody Van Diber up there, one of them in on the tackle. Also number 25 for the Brawley High Wildcats, that's Matthew Moreno. Next Friday night, the Cibola Raiders come over. We have played Cibola High School almost since its inception in the 1990s, on and off. There were a few years there where we flat didn't play any schools out of Yuma. and that was a lot to do with the AIA, the Arizona Interscholastic Association. But now things are back, and all the Valley teams playing some of the Yuma schools. And a pass out there defended by number 21 for the Brawley High Wildcats. Or I didn't get that right. 31, Chris Camilo. So I'm not spotting a 21 on the roster. And as we were talking about at halftime, remember that this year they are not coming in with a lot of experience behind them. It will be only Cibola's second game. Their first is tomorrow night in Imperial. And for Gila Ridge, they will be coming in with just a couple of games under their belts. And the Wildcats will be in their fifth game. So we'll see if all that works out. No. Nice block. Nice run. Flag came out really, really early. Number of things going on around the line that would lead me to believe that the official threw a flag. Kind of a pancake block on Brody Vandiver, I don't think is what it's going to be. Oh, no. They're going to call a chop on Brawley. All right. Okay. I think what happened is one of the linemen fell and might have taken the legs out of an offensive lineman. I know Brawley doesn't teach that or coach that. Coach John Self looking a little incredulous across the way at the call, but and giving the referee an earful. No, not really. Okay, so Indio getting some help on this drive, or a lot of help. Coming up on 1:15 and the clock running. We will see if the Wildcat defense can hold one more time. And now we're going to get a timeout by the Indio Rajas with 1:08 to go. And with the score 48-13, we'll be back.
Brownie's Diner in Brawley and the Town Pump Restaurant in Westmoreland are proud sponsors of Wildcat football. Brownie's is open daily from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving delicious American and Mexican food, while the Town Pump serves the best steaks and seafood in the North End from 4:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Go Wildcats from Brownie's and the Town Pump.
Okay, let me correct a lot of things on that. That is from 2019, pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, Gabe Revelar and Juanita have moved the entire kitchen from Westmoreland's Town Pump to Brownie's. And in the morning, it is Brownie's Restaurant. They open at 7. They close at, I believe, 3. And they're serving breakfast and lunch. Same old good food. And then at 5 o'clock, they are opening up the same restaurant, but with the same kitchen and the same taste from the Town Pump in Westmoreland. So you have both because of the just supply chain. There's 1,000 reasons, but the food is still good. The food is still there, and again, it wasn't that it was cooked in Westmoreland, which is close to my wife's heart because she's born there, raised there. But it had nothing to do with that. It has to do with how you cook it, who cooks it, and how it's prepared. And again, the whole kitchen, the wood flavoring and all of that stuff, all in Brawley now. So if you want a good steak, still the Town Pump. You just don't drive to Westmoreland, or if you're from Westmoreland, you got to drive into Brawley. And that's about it. Okay, another timeout by the Indio Rajas. Another chance for us to catch up with one of our sponsors.
Whether you're buying, selling, or renting a home, or for all your agricultural real estate needs, call on the Dahm team. your experienced hometown agents who have served the Imperial Valley since 2002. Let the Dom team make your next real estate transaction more successful and enjoyable. Give Doug or Andrew a call at 760-427-6741. The Dom team, proud supporters of Wildcat football.
Okay, welcome back to Indio High School, and Doug Dom played on this field, as did Andrew Dom, and they are good supporters of Wildcat football. They also do rental and an interception for the Wildcats on about the 2-yard line, and if Indio does, they finally drive out. Oh, that's a little extra. And a nice interception out there for the Brawley High Wildcats that will put an end to everything. Sitting back there playing center field was Aiden Torres, A-I-D-I-N, and nice INC in return, and that should be the Rajas are starting to line up. The Wildcats are lining up, and that will be it. Okay, we'd like to thank you for following our webcast. Tom Ronco, I'd like to thank my guest host, co-host, Donnell Washington. Again, I hope you were able to hang with us. Tons of information about the Wildcats. And we will move on to next Friday night when the Wildcats host the Cibola Raiders. We will run our sponsors by you one more time, so hang on for just one moment.
Welcome. Is being brought to you by the Desert Review and Wildcat Broadcasting, and is presented on thedesertreview.com and on Facebook at The Desert Review. Brawley football is sponsored by Hart Insurance Company, the Dom Team for Real Estate, Johnny's Burritos, Ojeda Industries, The Man Company, OK Rubber Tire, Jordan Central Implements, Desert RV, Brant Beef, Carter Taylor and Lidco, Clayton Drain Tile Maintenance, Fry Chapel and Mortuary, ClickUp Parker Insurance Company, A&R Construction, Brawley Auto Center, Smith Candle Insurance and Real Estate, and One World Beef Packing. And now...
Okay, that'll do it. That's our sponsors. That's the ball game. A final look at the scoreboard. The Brawley High Wildcats 48, the Indio Rajas 13. Wildcats improved to 1-2 on the season. And again, looking at 7 games in the Imperial Valley, 5 of them in Brawley. And we hope you will join us or be there in person or both. Until then, until next Friday night, this is Tom Ronco saying good night.